How y'all doing? Mr. Amann here. Hey, today I'm just going to talk about a few of the basic tools as far as what the bricklayers will use on the job site. First of all, not all bricklayers, but most bricklayers, they will purchase a canvas tool bag. It's pretty good size. They can carry a lot of tools in there. This in here has one pocket. Different manufacturers, they might have 2 or 3 pockets on the inside for smaller objects. Also, guys, just use 5-gallon buckets. I prefer the canvas bag. You just look more professional. So the first tool, as far as the bricklayer, is a trowel. This is the main tool of the bricklayer. And as you can see, there's different shapes and different sizes. This in here is a Philadelphia trowel. The bottom part of it, look how much wider it is compared to this one on the bottom part. Again, it's just the manufacturer, and it's what the bricklayer prefers. Once he gets it in his hands and starts manipulating the mortar, it's just the feel, what he wants to use, a big one, small one. I like the smaller ones, because if you do this for a long time and over 8 hours every day, you're picking up a lot of heavy mortar with the bigger trowel. Puts a lot of stress on your wrist, your forearm, your elbow. That's why I prefer the smaller one. I can control it more. Like I said, and this is the trowel is what we use. The bricklayer uses to spread the mortar, to place the mortar on top of the brick or on top of the block. And I probably will have a video of actually laying block or brick just to show you its proper use. The next basic tool is a brick hammer. Different than a claw hammer. We can't pull nails out with this part. There's no groove in it, like what a carpenter would use. But this is just a brick hammer. With this edge, the wedge in, we can cut brick or block with it to the length that we want. This here, the head part, that's just like a regular hammer. We can hammer nails into here. Into just different work. This part is just used for a hammer. The wedge end is cutting brick or block. A tape measure and a modular brick ruler. Tape measure and ruler. It is a must. Any young men or young women who want to get in the field, they have to know how to read a ruler or a tape measure. You have to. We use these every single day, probably hundreds of times a day. That's why it's very, very important. Tape measure, this is a 25 footer. They make different footage tapes. So whatever you prefer. Every individual is different. This here is a 6-foot folding rule. It just opens up on hinges. And when I open it all the way up, it'll be 6 feet tall. 6 feet. This side here, as you can see, is just a regular ruler. Just got the measurements on it. But then when we turn it over, this is what the bricklayers will use. We use this back of the ruler. It looks very difficult, but it's easy once I would show you guys how to use it. And that's going to be in another video. Again, I'm just going over the basic tools, what we use. So tape measure, modular brick ruler. One side's a ruler, the other side is for our brick coursing, which like I said, I'll explain to you in another video. This here, it's an S joiner. After the bricklayers get finished laying the brick, there's so many courses. Once the mortar starts getting a little tacky or starting to get a little bit hard, we'll stop laying brick, and we use this joiner, S joiner, to finish off the mortar joints to make our wall look even better. Also, to give it a tight water seal product. You never want any holes in your mortar joints, and you can patch all the holes in and slick the mortar joints off very nice with this. Very nice. And then after we're done using the S joiner, we take just a soft brush or a mason's brush, and we got to brush the wall down. So after we're done using this, we take a brush and we brush the wall off to get all the little pieces of mortar off of the brick or the block. Just again for appearance, to make the wall look as good as we can get it to look. We got levels. Another very important tool. This one here is a 2-foot level. It's 24 inches tall. This one here is a 4-foot level, or 48 inches tall. With levels, when you're holding a level horizontal, that means you are leveling your wall. You're checking for level. And your objective is, you want that bubble right in between the line. When we're laying brick or block, we got to tap the brick or block around to where that bubble is directly in the middle. When you hold a level vertical, we call that you're plumbing the wall. P-L-U-M-B, plumb, plumbing the wall. And the reason why on all levels, we got 2 windows, here and here. And each window has 2 bubbles. The reason why it has 2 bubbles, the bricklayer can pick it up and place it against his wall vertically. However he picks it up, he can place it on there. And we would always be looking at the bottom bubble here. And then if we go to the lower glass, we'd be looking at the bottom bubble here. Now if I flip it over, just by the way I grabbed it, now I'm going to be looking at this bottom bubble or this bottom bubble. And again, when you're plumbing, the objective of a bricklayer is he wants his wall, time it's built, he wants that bubble directly in between them 2 lines. So again, horizontal, you're checking for level. Vertical, you're checking for plumb. Level and plumb. Very important tool, and these are very expensive too. These 2 levels right here together, you're probably looking at almost, probably about $300 to $350 for 2 levels. But if you take care of them, they're going to last, a very long time. Very long time. So just to wrap things up, again, this is the main tool for the bricklayer. If we don't have these, we're not going to spread the mortar with our hands. We spread them with a trowel. And this is once we get back to class and you can actually get into it, then I'll teach you how to manipulate the trowel and control the mortar. Again, there's different sizes, different lengths, different widths, different handles. There's different handles on trowels. So you got plenty of options out there. Again, these are trowels. Then we had the brick hammer. This end here, the head, that's your putting nails in, or if we got to tear down a wall or something like that, we can use this. The wedge end, that's for cutting brick or block to a specific length that we want. S joiner, remember that's for finishing our mortar joints. Once the mortar starts getting a little bit tacky or setting up, then we got to stop laying brick and we got to finish all our mortar joints. Then we take the mason's brush and we brush the wall off to make the appearance as good as we can get it. Tape measure and a modular 6-foot folding brick ruler. Again, with this tape measure here, it's just a regular tape measure. We don't have nothing on the back. But the folding rule, this side is a ruler. If we turn it around this way, this is what the bricklayer used for marking their courses. Again, that'll be in another video. And then the last are the levels. 2 foot, 4 foot, they make a 6 foot. They make a torpedo level. It's just a smaller level. It does the same thing though. If I'm holding it horizontal, I'm checking for level. If I'm holding it vertical, I'm checking for plumb. Same way with this one. All the levels do the same thing. Alright, so the next video we're probably going to be getting into, I'll explain like the brick ruler as far as brick coursing and block coursing. So have a good day.